Welcome back. We are joined by Dawn Taylor, who is a retired United Church minister. Thanks for being here, Dawn.
You're most welcome. Glad to be here.
I know you've been on the show several times before, so we welcome you back. And this time to talk about a public forum on privilege.
Right.
First of all, why would you hold something like this? Sort of, how did this come to fruition?
Well, it started, privilege is a topic that's in the news quite a bit now, but back last spring, the Gold Trail School Division, which is west of us, Cache Creek, Lillooet, put up some posters about privilege, hoping to start a discussion. But there was such anger and vitriolic responses that they pulled the posters, and we started thinking about it and thought, you know, that's really an important topic in society. And so we talked about it, and the forum is the result of that.
Do you think there's a bit of confusion around privilege and sort of that word itself? You know, what does it mean? Who has privilege? That sort of thing. I mean, is it a topic that really can create some controversy because some don't really understand?
It can, and most of us don't understand until we learn about it, and that's what part of this is about, is consciousness raising, so we become aware. Because privilege is unearned. Benefits or advantages or immunities or favors that simply come one's way by virtue of their education, their sex, their gender, their sexual orientation, the fact that they're able-bodied. Most of us aren't even aware of it.
Right.
Not at all.
So when you think of privilege, sometimes, you know, I've heard this in the past. People say, oh, that person is so privileged. They're so, you know, and it almost paints them in a picture of almost like a bad light. Like, oh, they're privileged. Then they're just, you know, they've got too much. They're bad, that kind of thing.
Right.
Is that something you hear often from people?
Well, that's certainly not the intent of the forum.
Yeah, of course not.
No, I suppose people might say that, but there's so many small, insidious ways that are totally unconscious to us. You know, if you've never been followed in a store because of your skin color by a security guard, you have privilege. If you can walk down the street and hold hands with your partner and feel safe, you have privilege. If you can buy a Band-Aid that's more or less the color of your skin, you have privilege. You know, if you can walk across the street and not have to wait at the street corner for someone to help you, you have privilege. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about, because it creeps into our society and becomes normal. And the normalization often leads to some power for those with privilege. And then power leads to more privilege. So it's very intertwined. And it's also very intersectional in the sense that a white male heterosexual has privilege, but if that male is confined to a wheelchair, then that privilege is lessened a bit.
Slip down,
it's you know, it all kind of intertwines.
So the public forum is being held on November 10th from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What are you hoping that people take away from this, Dawn?
Well, I'm hoping an awareness, as I say, consciousness raising, so to speak, so that we become more aware that the playing field really isn't all that level. And those of us who have privilege probably don't know it, and probably don't even recognize that the playing field is not level.
Because it's just become normal to them.
It's absolutely normalized. And so we're hoping that people have a greater awareness of what privilege they may have. You know, people may say, you know, Joe is disadvantaged because of da-da-da-da-da, but they don't realize that if Joe's disadvantaged and I'm not, then I have advantages. And so to start to name what some of those advantages might be. And
then in turn, what are you hoping that is there a hope that maybe you change your day-to-day or just have that recognition when you see somebody who maybe isn't as privileged as you?
Well, I think the recognition is the start, but I think we also have to work for more equity in society. We have to speak out against those systems that have privilege embedded in them. And I think that's an important activist role as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dawn,
You're welcome.
For letting us know.
Do you want to give people the address of the church?
So yes, it is November 10th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And I'll let you tell us what the address is. Okay. It's Kamloops United Church, 421 St. Paul Street, corner of 4th and St. Paul. If you want more information, go to the website. It's www.kamloopsunited.ca. Perfect. And do you have to RSVP in advance or anything?
No, it's perfectly open. It's free. No food.
No food, but that's okay.
But it's free. It's open to everybody.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So, of course, for more information, you can visit the Kamloops United Church website and get a hold of them downtown.
We have great speakers.
Oh, good. Excellent. All right. We're back in a couple of minutes. Stay with us.